Welcome back to the Training Model Podcast. This episode will be pretty quick, probably only like 20 minutes. It's more of just a check-in because there's a lot of moving parts in my life right now, and I don't have the mental bandwidth to just sit down and do a full-blown episode. So I want to get the ball rolling again because obviously I missed last week. Coming off Sydney, which was awesome. I had the first stint up in Sydney with one playground as well as my own workshop, which was at City Strength, which was really, really good. But so I was up there for a 2-day back-to-back, Friday the 27th and Saturday the 28th. We had 36 coaches on the Friday, and then we had 10 on the Saturday, so 46 total, and it was awesome. Covered so much ground across both days. Obviously, the one playground one is like a private course, I guess. It's just with their coaches. It's only open to their coaches. It's a 6-week, so 2 weeks pre-learning workshop, 4 weeks live calls, and then a second workshop. So I'll be back up there just for a single day in about a month. But that course being a private course has allowed me to sort of restructure some of the stuff that I do, because they requested particular things to be covered and requested particular sort of ideas to be like foundational pieces, which has allowed me to sort of create like a secondary onboarding ramp to the type of things that I talk about, the principles that I talk about with my movement education stuff. So it's been really, really good. But that first workshop with one playground was basically just running through the pre-learning content, the principle-based pre-learning content that I've been chatting a lot about in the podcast over the last few weeks. So we won't recap it all too much today. But it was a fucking awesome day. Honestly, I think it was my favorite day of education I've ever run. It was a pretty hectic day. Like, I flew out in the morning. We had nearly a 2-hour delay on the tarmac in Melbourne because of the weather up in Sydney. So I was a little stressed that I was going to be late, but I wasn't, which was good. But then we did a 6-hour workshop, and it was fucking awesome. I loved it. Every time I do in-person stuff, it just reaffirms how much I do love this stuff and love helping people understand these things and getting instant feedback. Obviously, because you do a little breathing drill, feel something, do some sensory work, and then all of a sudden it just improves range of motion, a feeling. All of a sudden bracing feels better. Maybe we're doing some different reaches and we can find different muscles and feel tension in different areas. Like, it's just nothing beats in person. And I loved it. And because, as I was sort of alluding to at the start, like, because of the onboarding, or because of that private course with one playground, I'm structuring things slightly different, and I think it is actually helping me better understand the best way to educate around these ideas, which has been really, really cool, and the feedback has been awesome with them. So I absolutely loved it. And then on the Saturday, which was with City Strength, or at City Strength, not with City Strength, but at City Strength, just had 10 coaches come through. A couple of people traveled for it, which was awesome. A couple of guys from the recent intake 5 of the mentorship, which was great. A few familiar faces from previous intakes, which was awesome. But obviously a handful of just new people that are in my world and following along and keen to learn. And that was also awesome. Definitely a different vibe to the Friday. The Friday was like just like crazy engagement in terms of, obviously, like, I think working with a group of coaches that all know each other, like, there was none of that like awkward, like, no one wants to ask a question. Like, everyone was just like deep into it from the start. Sometimes with different groups, people don't know each other. It takes a little bit to warm people up, but Saturday was still fucking mad. Absolutely loved it. And what I found from both of those days was I think I'm just done with single day workshops related to the central principles that I want to teach. Obviously, different story if it's like something with like a particular thing, like squat, bench press, deadlift, fucking lower body training, something like that, like breathing drills, application of breathing drills, like all of those sort of things, like absolutely one day. But I think moving forward from that weekend, for my stuff and the things that I do and produce, it's going to be 2-day events. I think I'm just done with doing like single day. Like I think it's now a disservice. It's too much to get through in just like a 6 to 8 hour workshop. Like it needs to be a 2-day event. So I think I'm going to build out a formal 2-day process to run through the principles and the application of the principles. Obviously, to recap, the 5 principles that I talk about and educate through, regardless of what I'm talking through. But center of mass, base, and support being the first one. All of these have episodes in the last probably 2 months that you can go and learn more if you're new here. But center of mass, base, and support. Number 1, relative versus reactive nature of muscle tension. The reactive nature of the nervous system, muscle tension is reactive. Second principle, relative motion versus orientational motion, proximal versus distal drivers, and then internal pressure management. They're the 5 principles that I coach and educate through, and it is ultimately just way too much to get through in one day. I felt that on the Saturday specifically, where it was kind of like we had like 90 minutes for each of those things, and it's just not enough time to get to the depths and to get to the application and to get to the feeling and the coaching processes around all of those things. So I think it's official that I am done with 1-day workshops, and I'm just going to build a 2-dayer, and the diehards can come. The people that are really keen to go through it can come. And hopefully that is something that eventually gets me to an international, to become an international educator. Like that is a big goal for me, to get something overseas somewhere. I've had people reach out, and I was close to going to the UK last year, before the second pregnancy first came along, but then also just was like a real challenging part for our personal life last year. But it is still a huge goal for me to get there and to get overseas in some capacity. I don't know why it's a goal. I think it's just cool. I remember when Angus first did it, I think he went to the UK, and I was just like, fuck, I need to do that. I need to back myself in and do that. And I think it all starts with crushing local scene first, which I'm getting there. I am getting there. But yeah, Sydney was fucking mad. I loved it. I think I'll probably look to do the 2-day workshop. My initial plan was to do interstate first and then do Melbourne at the end, but I think I'm going to flip it the other way and do Melbourne first. Probably make the Melbourne tickets a little cheaper to try to get like just more people involved, I guess. So I'll probably look at like, what are we now? April, May, June, July. Maybe July, late July, for the Melbourne one, and then probably push for maybe one in each state. Although that's 5 full weekends away. Maybe not one in each state. Maybe we go for 2 additional ones. Perth, I know Perth is keen, so maybe Perth and maybe Queensland. Yeah, I don't know. I'll work that out. I will work that out. But I think I'm moving in that direction for sure. So that's definitely coming if you are keen. Just keep an eye out, join the email list and all of those sort of things. Next thing, intake 5 of the movement mentorship wrapped up last week as well. So that was another big moving part in my life that has been pretty hectic for me. I always underestimate how much just energy, more than anything else, it's energy takes up running those courses, running those mentorships. Obviously it's 90 minutes 2 times a week, like 3 hours of calls, but I'm always making adjustments to slides. I'm producing the Q&A slides. I'm following people up. People are asking me questions, DMs, and all of those sort of things. Like it is definitely like a not just time, but it's more my energy. It always sidetracks me a little bit, and that's why my fucking content has fallen off a wagon. But that will be back. I made a post today, but I'm starting back to my. I'll get back to 10 posts a week. Probably aim for 5 this week and then 10 next week. But yeah, the mentorship wrapped up, which was mad, awesome, great group, very engaged on the calls, which I love. Nothing more demoralizing than a group call that has 0 feedback. They happen sometimes, but this group was awesome. And the outcomes, every call, how we going applying, how we playing around with these things. Every week there was more and more coming from quick wins people were having, improvements with their coaching processes, improvements with their education processes around the ideas, not just creating shitty narratives, and being a little bit more sort of on top of that process, I guess, because I think that is a really, really important thing. Like the subjective nature of coaching is really, really important, and not just letting shitty narratives dictate the overall sort of direction of your education. Like actually thinking a little bit deeper about the ideas that you're trying to educate clients on, and trying not to wrap them up in a nocibic negative narrative that ultimately just fucking creates nothing positive for the client long term, probably short term, but also long term. So every week there was just more and more feedback coming from the group, which was great. And just, yeah, it was an awesome group. And again, I don't know if you follow every episode in terms of the podcast here. If you do, let me know. Drop a comment. I know Angus does, but does anyone else out there follow every episode? But if you remember back a couple of months ago, I was actually thinking about cancelling that intake. I think I had 3 or 4 people registered by the turn of the new year, and obviously shut the gym, was closing the business, doing all that sort of stuff. And I was like, fuck, is this something that I want to do? Or should I just give myself an extra little bit of time and I was like, no, fuck it. I'm running the mentorship. So I ran the mentorship, and obviously like, plenty of signups. I think we ended up with 25 total, but I'm glad I did, because the intake was awesome. The group was awesome, and I'm thankful for that. I'm going to be chasing up some testimonials, so there'll be some new testimonials filtering through email lists, social content, landing pages, and all of those sort of things, just updated. But yeah, it was great. The next intake is open for registration. So intake 6 is live. We kick off in about 5 or 6 weeks. So I'll probably start pushing more social content related to that coming up. But intake 6 is live. I've added more value to it. So we've got a second onboarding short course. So there's obviously the movement principles, but I'm also layering in the programming principles as well, because initially I was planning on doing 2 separate mentorships, movement and programming. However, I just love the movement stuff too much, and I think it's just way too valuable to not make that my full-time thing for this little patch of my career where I'm in right now. So I had already produced the onboarding content for the programming mentorship, and I've just decided to roll it all into the movement mentorship. So you get 2 short courses, programming principles and movement principles, and then obviously 6 weeks of movement calls, and then 2 weeks at the end for application, programming application. I'm going to layer in some more case studies and build some more case studies out. And as I'm coaching more and just helping more people, both one-on-one mentoring, but one-on-one coaching as well, just more and more case studies of these sort of things to come, which is cool. So intake 6 is open. We have pre-learning kicking off like 18th of May, I think, 19th of May. And then the calls will start in June for that. So very, very excited for that. It will be one of the links down below. If you're part of intakes from previous years, not intake 5, but intakes 1 through 4 over the last 2 years, I send an email out for $1,000 off if you want to jump back in, get the updated materials, join the new Discord server. If you do want to jump in there, because I think I've had 3 already jump in, which is mad. But if you do want to jump in and undertake the full course again, get all the programming materials and get all of that sort of stuff, I can send you $1,000 code if you want that. But yeah, the next thing in my world that has been going on is I've moved gym. So I'm now at Verde Fitness in Braeside, technically Braeside, but it's probably only about 6-7 minutes past the old Strength Culture, RIP to Strength Culture, which is now leased. Thank fucking God. I was starting to stress there with, it took a bit of time, but then also just the world global events was stressing me out. I was like, fuck, I wouldn't want to be a new business moving into a big bloody facility and all of that sort of stuff with everything that's going on in the world and all this fucking bullshit. But thankfully, all went across, and I've moved out. I've got a shed full of just random gym related things that eventually will move to my office because I'm not actually in my office yet. They're currently expanding their office spaces at Verde, and I'll have my own office hopefully by the end of the month. Right now, I'm just sort of moving between a couple of their clinical rooms, I guess, allied health rooms, sports massage, EP, not EP, osteo. So I'm just bouncing between their rooms. But yeah, I'm at Verde now, which is mad. Did my first session in there today. I hit, what did I hit? I hit some, a couple of different fly variations, like cable press, I guess you would call it, a cable press for a chest. I did a fucking deep as step up because they've got different equipment here. I was just playing around with some stuff and then just did some arm shit at the end. It was only about 30 minutes between calls, but first session in this gym, which was mad. Obviously, I've been training at World Gym in Bentley East, enjoying it. Love the machine options there, but I think coming here, I want to film more content. I want to do more gym-based content. I want to get back to rolling regular content in the applied mentorship and lots of coaching examples, and all of those sort of things. So I think with that, I will probably be spending more time here in terms of training and going through here. But there's plenty of fun machines here. Lots of booty builder, hip thrust, 45-degree back extensions, plenty of racks and cables and all of that sort of stuff. An amazing amount. There's also a huge turf area, so my plyometrics can be progressed because I have been doing little deep tier ideas and playing with stuff like that. I've also been programming them, which has been cool. Mainly just the deep tier stuff for some of my stiffer clients. But that's definitely something I've done that I have been doing and enjoying. So yeah, there's a lot. There's just been a lot. This last fucking 3 weeks has just been a shit ton going on in my life. Hence why just certain things, certain pots have been moved to the back burner, but they can't be moved to the back burner. I just need to get the momentum rolling again, which is why I'm filming this little life update podcast here. Other than that, I think if you're still here, you're obviously interested in the shit I talk about. I will also be doing in-person coaching, not a huge amount, more like consulting, I think, for the in-person stuff. But yeah, if you're in Melbourne and want to come and do a session, feel some things out, play around with some of these ideas for yourself. If you're a coach, I work with basically all coaches, but if you are a coach that you want to play around with some stuff, obviously I offer one-on-one mentoring, 1-hour calls. If you want the one-on-one mentoring to be in person, we can definitely do that and set a regular time up every week. I know I've been saying this for a while, but I need to build a fucking landing page. Man, it's never ending, man. Online business, it's never ending. The pile of things to get done just never fucking ends. I've got to get a landing page done for coaching, what I do with my coaching. But yeah, if you are in Melbourne and want to do some sessions, one-on-one mentoring, we can do it in person. We can do it obviously online. But if you do want to do some stuff in person and go through that, I'm happy to just reach out and happy to chat about setting something up. Because that will be something that I will be offering as I just find my feet here at the new gym that I'm working from. And the only other thing is the movement mentorship. If you're interested in Intake 6, get involved. It will be awesome. But I think that's probably going to be it for the podcast today. Just a little life update, a little life touch point. Yeah, that's it. If you're here, drop a comment. If you're not here, I'll see you next week. But we're back. We're back to weekly podcasts, 20 minutes on the dot, as I said at the start. Nothing too serious going on, but just a little life update to get the momentum going. The other thing is I'm down 7 kilos, which is awesome. I got to 106 coming out of the new year, which is the equal heaviest I've ever been. I got to 106 when I got home from the US, when I went over there with Will Crozier, just before COVID hit. I think it was like the end of 2019. I was over there with Will Crozier. We were doing 5 weeks of travel, a couple of courses, Pat Davidson, Zach Couples, did a little gym tour, a couple different cities, went to some college campuses, and went through their S&C program. Spent some days there. We did a whole bunch of stuff, but the final stop was San Francisco, where Crozier was competing at record breakers, which was mad. Great day. But coming off that trip, I was 106 kilos. Back then, though, I had a significant more amount of muscle mass than I currently have after the last 12 months of my life, or 2025, I should say. Not 12 months. The last 4 months have been pretty positive. But I'm down 7 kilos. I'm under 100 kilos, which is great. I feel like, though, I've got so much more to go. Feel like I haven't even scratched the surface of the adipose tissue of my system. So plenty. I think I'll probably go another 5 kilos, try to get to like mid, like 94-ish kilo body weight. And then I think I'm just going to maintain there and just try to recomp and just continue to build hypertrophy and continue to get a little bit more athletic. I'm also noticing that my fitness is a bit of a limiter for my training sessions, just in terms of fatigue accumulation. I fatigue very, very quickly. So I think I might need to have to start doing some running again. I did a little bit of running right at the start of the year, but I think I was just too heavy and wasn't great. So I think I might get the runners back out and do some running again. But yeah. Things are going. We're moving in the right direction. If you're still here, I appreciate you. Drop a comment. Check the links out. There's some free shit down there too. I'll see you next week in the podcast. Guest episodes will be coming very soon. So if you have a guest that you want me to speak to, Angus Bradley is definitely going to be a regular. David Gray, I haven't spoken to him in probably 12 months, but he's definitely somebody that I want to get on. If you have somebody that you do, Gary Ward is the other one I really want to speak to. But if you have someone that you would want me to have a chat with, an open chat about some of these training ideas, movement ideas, let me know. Because guest episodes are definitely coming in the pipeline. Since the Strength Culture podcast closed off, we're back in that same situation where there's just no one in Australia doing anything good. So I guess I'm going to have to fill that void again, just me, myself, and I, and build Australia's #1 health and fitness, strength and conditioning podcast again. But we'll do it again. So we'll see you in the next one. And thanks for sticking by. And yeah, if you need help, DM me. I'm happy to help however I can. Ciao.